So today we're going to be talking about saving money in 2025, whether you want to save money for a down payment on a house or closing costs or to upgrade your house or just to have a cushion or to pay off credit card debt. This is the year to do it, and you've got this, but you may need a little help. So today I'm going to be talking about the Monarch Budget app. Now, first of all, I have no ties with them. This is not a paid review. They did not even approach me. As a lender, if you're new to the channel, I've been a lender for 18 years. All I do is talk to people all day long about money and their spending habits. And I review bank statements. So for years, I was always recommending Mint. However, they closed a couple years ago, and it's been tough finding an app that I have felt passionate about to tell you guys about. But Monarch, I'm super passionate about. So let's talk about, first of all, what's going on. The rise of the unconscious consumer. I actually wrote a book. It's called Brain Hacked: How Big Tech Trains Your Brain and How to Fight Back. And it's all about how technology has been designed to make it so that you don't even know what you're buying, right? It is the era of click, click, buy. Subscriptions, everything's a subscription. Everything's a trial that ends in subscription. You know, what I thought was super interesting is when I drilled into Monarch, I had subscriptions that I had canceled, and for a couple months I wasn't charged, but then randomly they started charging me again. Shady, right? That type of stuff is happening. And that's why I think even if you're comfortable with your finances, even if you're like, Jen, I've got a lot of money saved, I still would recommend it because there's a lot of stuff going on, at least from what I saw when I drilled into my finances, where I was like, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. So let's talk about Monarch first of all. There is a cost to it. And I actually think this is a good thing. Mint was always free, but the ads were just like, by the time they got bought, the ads were just terrible, right? It was like, get this credit card, get this, get that. At this point, Monarch isn't doing any of that. It's a paid for service. So $14.99 a month or $99.99 a year. Do I think it's worth $100 a year? Yeah, I do, based on what I saw. However, they have a free trial period. Make sure you're paying attention. Really use that trial period to drill down to see if it's going to work with you. And I think that it's a great tool to get radically honest with yourself about your spending. And if you want to save money, that is what you need to do. I've seen this for years, and I'm telling you right now, the clients I have that go, yeah, I should spend money, I should save money, they don't. But the clients who say, okay, I'm gonna drill into it and really get involved, they do. And the reason is they're changing their psychology. They're also waking up from being an unconscious consumer. Honestly, that is what half of this is. It is taking away this training that makes you just unaware of where your money's going. Also, like seriously, back to the fact that I was getting charged for stuff that I had canceled and they had not shown it for a few months and then started doing it again. It's like a game of, are you paying attention? That's the world we live in right now, and it's wrong. So here's what I would suggest. In terms of technology, the app's great. I've tried it, you know, in multiple Wi-Fi settings, you know, with cellular service, without, and I haven't had any issues, which is nice because I've tried some where they're glitchy AF. So here's the thing. The app one on your phone, I think, is really good for transactions, cash flow, overall view of where you're at. Also, like that's what I'm looking at every morning or every evening to see what got spent, to categorize it, to make notes, to be real with myself. The desktop version, I think, is better for overall planning and budgeting. I don't like the budget aspect on the phone app version. Not a fan. And the reason is you can't get as granular with the budget as you can on the desktop. Maybe you can, but I didn't figure it out. And I tried for a solid hour. So I think to set up that initial budget, you need to go on the desktop. But for transactions, categorizing overall, the app on the phone is perfect, okay? In terms of how it gets your data, they use Plaid. Plaid is a company that I've seen in the lending sphere for over 5 years. I'm very comfortable giving them my information. You know, it's how a lot of lenders verify your assets. They are very checked out. So I was super comfortable with that. Here's why I like it. You can set up notifications, which I did, and I suggest that you do as well. You almost want Monarch to be as annoying as Duolingo, which if you've ever had that app, it is the world's most annoying app. Monarch, honestly, they should have like a butterfly or something that just does the same Duolingo stuff as well, because then I would give it like 19 stars out of 10. But look, you can set up notifications, and I'll get a notification that's like, Jennifer, you have 3 transactions to review. And I'm like, oh gosh, what did someone spend, right? My goal now is to see how many days I can go with no transactions. That's what I want. Because let's be real. The less you're spending, the more you're saving. Let's say it together. The less you're spending, the more you're saving. So having something that daily is going to be like, hey, you have 25 transactions. What are you doing? Knock it off. Versus, no transactions. Well, obviously, if you don't have transactions, you're not spending money. So here's what I really like about it. Technology is great, all of that. But I like how granular you can get on the categorization. Now, I see this in my own marriage, and I see this with a lot of clients. I'll see that there's one person who's a spender, one that is a saver, and there's a lot of denial going on. And I'll be real. I am the person where I'll be like, yeah, I think we spent a lot on clothes this month, but you got a jacket, to my husband. And he's like, yeah, I got a jacket. So in my head, we both spent the same amount on clothing. Well, here's the thing about Monarch. You can set it up so that, for instance, my husband and I shop at different stores. So I have it where if a store he shops at, you can create rules. Anytime there's a transaction, it goes under Mark's clothing. Anytime there's a transaction from one of my ladies' stores, it goes under Jennifer clothing. I did the same thing with my son. We shop at different stores. Now, if you shop at the same store, it's a little bit more complicated, but if clothing is the family thing, it's really eye-opening. I can no longer say to either of them that they're spending anywhere near the same amount that I do. Looking at it over the last 12 months, I actually said, okay, in 2025, I am not going to buy any new clothes or shoes. None. I know, guys. Even as I say it, I'm like, it's going to be hard. But Monarch's going to keep me accountable. I know that, because here's the thing. Every single day, that thing is going to annoy me. And every single day, I can go in and look at what I spent last year on the topic I'm trying to get rid of, and it's going to awake my mind. And that's the key with any of this. So here's what I would suggest. Really think about the categories that you think you spend too much in. When you set up the app, go through every transaction for the last year. That's right, every single one. Categorize it correctly. Set up your own categories. For instance, a lot of times these apps don't categorize correctly. They may just throw Amazon under groceries or whatever. Honestly, if you buy a lot at Amazon, it should be its own category, because I'm telling you right now, when you make Amazon its own category, it is staggeringly terrifying. It's scary. That's for my friends who have 4 or 5 boxes coming a week. Make it its own category. I made it its own category. I called it need to cancel, okay? Now, all of this is going to be based on your spending, but the overall goal of this is twofold. Number one, become radically awake. If you're looking at what you're spending every single day, you will spend less. It is that simple. I don't know anyone, no matter how rich they are, who would look at all of their spending and be like, yeah, that's cool. If you have to look at it, you have to think about it. If you have to think about it, a lot of it doesn't make sense. And technology removed that think barrier. With Monarch, we're bringing it back, which is a really good thing. Maybe you have something you bought where you're like, oh, I need to return it, but I can't bother. Monarch's going to make you bother. I'm telling you that right now. So set it up to notify you. If you're in a relationship where maybe your husband, maybe he's like, I don't spend that much. And you're like, yes, you do. You're spending all our money. We're never going to buy a house. Why do you do this? Track it. Split it up by person. And you can also invite people. So you could invite your husband to look at the finances with you. They may want to, they may not. In my situation, what I'm doing with my husband is we're just having a conversation, and I'm saying, hey, this category, we're spending this one, we're spending this. These actually go against each other. How do we fix that, right? And, you know, for instance, with my son, I'm always concerned about DoorDash. So I have a certain level where if he goes over it, I'm going to get like 10 notifications, and so is he. So I think Monarch's really great. I'm very excited about it. I know it's going to help me hit my goals this year of saving more to buy an investment property, and I bet it can help yours. So check it out. They have a free trial. If you want to save money this year, you need to be radically honest. This is an easy way to do it. So I hope this video was helpful. If you need help with ideas on categories, just call me. I got really in the weeds with it and I'm loving it. Thanks for watching.